I know I'm live. I'm just making noises because what is there to say? What is there to say about a Boston Celtics basketball team that cares less about what they do on the court than the people watching the games? And from the top down, the lack of pride that's been shown in this season is not just disheartening, but embarrassing. You have a loss tonight to a Cavs team that isn't very good. I mean, they're young and they have some talented players, but they're not good. And in the first half of the game, you will go out and get drummed, just beaten like a drum. And then you try to make a run in the second half to make it all okay, but you come up short because you put in no effort in the first half to a team that's not very good. I saw no pride from the players. I saw no pride from the coach. I've seen no pride in the way Danny Ainge has put his roster together. Seen no pride in the ownership with Grassbeck saying everything's fine, nobody's job is at risk. So why should we as fans show pride in the team or care about the team? Isn't it time to abandon ship on the 2020-2021 Celtics? They keep putting us through misery, embarrassment, while teams that were your rivals, the Lakers, the Nets, the Sixers, are all playing meaningful basketball and going to be playing meaningful basketball late into the year. And that's where you're at right now. If you're a Celtics fan, is watching a team that is continually circling the drain. And I'm not talking the drain in the sink. I'm talking the drain in the toilet. Circling that drain. The drain full of filth and poop. That's the drain the Celtics are circling. They don't even get the sink drain. They get the toilet drain. And that's the effort that you saw tonight, and that's the effort you've seen much of this season with no thought or care put into game prep or game planning or effort during the game or roster construction or holding people accountable for their jobs. No thought or care. We're the Boston Celtics. We have 17 banners. We were in the Eastern Conference Finals 3 of the last 4 years. That doesn't make a difference. Look at where you are now. Look at the teams that have better records than you or the same records as you. Look at the teams you're bunched in with right now. The Hornets, the Knicks, the Hawks. Those are the teams that's your company. Those are your peers right now. Not the Bucks or the Nets or the Sixers or the Lakers or the Clippers. Not those teams. Those aren't your peers. Your peers are the New York Knicks and Charlotte Hornets. When you look at the NBA standings right now, that's where you're at. That's the level of basketball you're at. Celtics is the Hornets level, the Knicks level, the Hawks level. So don't even think about when we're going to get our next championship. It's when are you going to be good? When are you going to actually be competing or even sniffing a championship? Because losing to a team like the Cavs after a tough loss where you played pretty well against a team like the Jazz shows me the Celtics players saw, well, we played really well and we still aren't good enough to beat the Jazz. So why try, Fuck it. Let's just lay an egg against the 76ers. Or fuck it, let's blow a 27-point lead to the New Orleans Pelicans. They don't care. And if I were the players, it's hard to care too when, you're seeing other guys around you not put in effort, when you're seeing your coach seemingly trying to get fired so he can go coach the Indiana Hoosiers. You're seeing your general manager, president of basketball operations, build a roster that anybody who plays 2K would be embarrassed to have. And when you see your owner saying, everything's fine, this whole team, it's great. Celtics are running all these ads. Welcome back, fans. Fans, we're so excited to have you at the Garden. No fan should be excited to go back to the Garden. No fan should go back to the Garden. Why? Why should you pay hard-earned money to go see this team play? You're putting in more effort to park at the Garden or walk into the Garden find your seat, sit your ass down, and order a hot dog or popcorn. You're putting in more effort doing that than the Celtics are putting in on the court. You're putting in more effort trying to find a parking spot at the garage of the Garden than Brad Stevens is towards coming up with some sort of cohesive strategy to coach or line up roster management. You're putting in more effort standing in line to go to the men's room at the Garden than Danny Ainge has in scouting players in the draft. You're putting more effort buying a jersey in the pro shop at the Garden than Wyc Grousbeck is in evaluating the guys that he's paying a salary to. It's sad. It's sad to see that this franchise that has been to 3 of the past 4 Eastern Conference Finals and seem to be trending on the upwards, how fast they're trending downwards, and how many teams have passed them by because you felt comfortable as the Celtics being a historic franchise that was pretty good but not great, and that the other teams would just fall by the wayside because you're the mighty Celtics and they should just, it's your time, respect that. No, you've been outflanked and outmaneuvered by all these teams, and you're losing games regularly to terrible teams and terrible franchises. I'll get into the box score, but the takeaway shouldn't be from this individual game. It should be the lack of accountability and pride and care taken into what a team that has no business being this bad. But when you think that you're the greatest thing ever, and this is from the top down, Danny Ainge thinks he's the greatest GM ever. The owner thinks he's a brilliant owner, and that Danny Ainge can do no wrong. And Brad Stevens is a brilliant head coach. They plucked out of obscurity at Butler. And the players are so confident. We made the Eastern Conference Finals 3 or 4 years in a row. I'm on the cover of Ruffles, potato chips. Everybody thinks their shit doesn't stink on the Celtics, and the whole team stinks. It just stinks. Finally, so you lost 117 to 110. The game wasn't that close. Let's look at the starters. Semi Ojeleye got another start, even though he produced nothing in the last start. Brad Stevens giving a big fuck you to Celtics fans there. 19 minutes from Semi, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 of 4 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. Not very productive. Jason Tatum, 37 minutes, 29 points. That looks pretty good. 2 steals, 3 assists. He was really hot in the second half. Did most of his damage in the second half, but 3 of 13 from 3. Not going to cut it. Not good. Daniel Tice. Why not? 26 minutes. Attempts 1 shot. Misses it. So 26 minutes. No points. 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Great. Good work, Daniel Tice. Marcus Smart back in the starting lineup. I almost said smarting lineup. He was fine. 29 minutes. 5 of 11 from the floor. 4 of 9 from 3. Pretty much what you would hope for out of Marcus Smart. 19 points. Nothing wrong with that. Don't love the 4 turnovers, but Jaylen Brown, 39 minutes. Led the team in minutes, as I burped there because I was getting sick to my stomach talking about this. 28 points for Jaylen Brown. Oh, that's pretty good, right? 3 blocks. Oh, wow, nice. 2 steals, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Really filled it up. 2 of 10 from 3. 4 of 8 from the free throw line. Come on. Not good. Grant Williams, 22 minutes off the bench. Again, Brad Stevens saying, fuck you, Celtics fans. I don't care about you. I'm going to play Grant Williams, 22 minutes. 5 points, 7 rebounds, 1 of 6 from the floor. Jeff Teague, 15 minutes. Brad Stevens saying, fuck you, Celtics fans. I'm going to play Jeff Teague 15 minutes, even though he has no discernible skills anymore. 4 points, 1 assist. Nothing. Peyton Pritchard, 19 minutes. Should have played more. 7 points. Played pretty well. 3 of 4 off the bench. Carson Edwards, 4 minutes, no points. Why not? Javonte Green, 3 minutes, no points. Why not? And I thought the best player in the court, again, for the 10th consecutive game, Rob Williams, comes off the bench because why not? 27 minutes, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks, 13 points. Rob Williams is your third. I'm not sure if I'm willing to demote Kemba that far. Rob Williams may be your third best player by the end of the season. I'm not kidding. He may be. And you still bring him off the bench, and you still play him close minutes to Grant Williams, who's trash. And I like Grant Williams' personality. I think he's a good guy. Plays way too much for a team that fancies itself good. This isn't a good team, guys. It's not a good Celtics team. Take a look at the defense. Continues to be horrible. 35 points they gave up in the fourth quarter to the Cavs. 35 points. The most amount of points they gave up in a quarter was the fourth quarter when you needed to try to make a comeback. You gave up 35 points. The other day against Utah, you gave up 40 points in the fourth quarter. That's lack of effort. The defense has been horrible. I talked about this today on my basketball podcast. The Celtics lost Gordon Hayward in the offseason. They didn't lose Kevin Garnett in his prime. It's insane how much they've fallen defensively without losing personnel. Insane. Embarrassing. The team should be embarrassed. As a fan, I'm embarrassed. Everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to be held accountable. It's easier to get rid of the coach and the general manager than to completely start from scratch with the roster. So I think that's where you start, is you get rid of the coach. He doesn't seem to want to be here anyways. Danny Ainge's vision, it was Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and somebody else, maybe Kevin Durant, something else. That dream failed. It didn't come to reality. He had no plan B. He has no plan now. He's either going to make a desperation trade at the deadline for someone like Harrison Barnes, who's fine, but it's not going to make much of a difference. He's Harrison Barnes. He's not Kevin Durant. Or in the offseason, make an acquisition that he's going to trumpet as a big deal, but it's really, again, not a big deal. He has no plan. Once that Kyrie thing happened and Anthony Davis went to the Lakers, the plan went out the window. There's no plan for this team. You need to get a general manager who is, one, attentive, and two, has a plan. You need a coach who wants to be here, who the players listen to. You need players to be interested in trying to put in effort all four quarters of the game. This sucks. There's no way to sugarcoat it. This sucks. And I'm going to keep watching because I'm a glutton for punishment. But I'm telling you right now, you shouldn't. Talking to everybody who's watching now in the future. It's not going to get better. They can add Harrison Barnes. They can add whoever at the deadline. It's not getting better. They're not winning in the first round. They're losing in the first round. If they play somebody whose star player gets hurt in this first round and they manage to make it out of that, because that's the only way they would, they'll get swept in the second round. There's no good outcome for this team because there's no pride and there's no attention to detail with this team. There's no attention to making it the best it could be. They've let it get to this point, and as fans, you should be mad because I am. It's embarrassing. And tonight was just another example of that. I'll be back. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I see you in the chat, Gregory, Castillo, Weston, Iro, Hitman, Hudson. I appreciate you guys. You rock. Thank you for continuing to watch and for your support. Everybody else, remember to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, comment. Yeah, pretty shitty. Pretty shitty. I will talk to you after the next game. See ya, everybody.